Hi. What is good, Boom Crew? It's your girl Rainbow Fanny, out of breath from walking up the steps. I'm gonna go get the front of my hair redone. This video has no major topic. I'm just gonna be talking, and I figured I start recording from now. So some of y'all don't know that I had COVID, and I had COVID, and even after COVID was over, I had a lung infection, and then recently my son got a lung infection. So yeah, it's been an eventful couple of months since the last time I uploaded a video. Yeah, I'm so hot. I've been overheating. Once again, since I had COVID, I'm usually the type that get cold for every little thing. But now, it's the opposite. I feel like I have a hormone imbalance because today is September 26th. I've had my period since September 11th. So I know that there has to be something going on with my hormones. And it's like heavy bleeding, so yeah, guys. But I'm alive, right? So I'll be back because I'm about to go upstairs. Guys, hopefully you can hear me. This is the front of my hair. I didn't get out of there till like 6 something. So now I'm at the cafe. Look at this one. Damo, here's the evidence. Risa. They wildin' in the street. Glass from the past. Got the crew over there. Got Ayana the singer. We got La Crema Se Pega. Yeah, so I'm gonna be chilling. Y'all see I drew my eyebrows on. I like it. I like the other way she did it better, but she be wanting me to switch it up, so be like, all right.
What you got them all? What you got them all? What you got them all? What you got them?
Okay. Hey guys. So I got on camera because I was supposed to upload or record, and every time I go to record, I'm like busy or whatever. So I'm just gonna record now because yeah. So I was supposed to be updating y'all on my non-existent love life, but I'm gonna get back into what I was saying, but and I'm sorry that this video is all over the place, but I'm like really busy. I'm not like how it was before when I was recording videos where I just had time to record. I don't really have the time like that no more, because a lot of the stuff that I'm doing requires my attention. Like right now I'm working and I'm trying to record because yeah. So anyway, I've touched this topic before, but I've never really fully got into detail. I don't think so. But my mom is not doing good. She has been struggling with substance abuse for a while, and my mother is older. My mother is probably mid to probably knocking on late 60s. I know that's terrible. I don't know my mother's exact age. But she has been struggling with substance abuse for a while. So just to compress my life or my experience with my mother and her drug use into like a short thing, is when I was younger, yes, my mother was on drugs. We were taken away periodically so we could be in foster care, she could get her life together, then get us back. It was always something like that, right? But I think I was a little oblivious to it, because to me, when I would think of a drug addict, I would think of a person that was like, you know, out on the streets, looking bad, looking terrible. So being that my mother didn't look like that, it never really truly hit me that my mother was like on drugs, you know what I'm saying? But she was on drugs. So anyway, what was I gonna say? So she relapsed. The only time that the most recent one that I'm aware of is that she relapsed in 2016, right? In 2016, when she relapsed, and my sister told me, it drove me into that state of depression. I've mentioned that every so often. I'll mention that in a video, and that drove me into one of my, because I probably was suffering from depression before I didn't realize it, but that was something that I realized, like, oh, that triggered like that stereotypical state of depression, like stay in the bed, not do nothing or whatever. I'm sorry, people texting me. But so since that, you know, I've kind of I've distanced myself from my mother. I don't see her often. I don't, you know, she call, like, I'll speak to my mother on the phone, but that's probably maybe once a month or something of the sort, right? Every blue moon or something like that. And so basically what I'm saying is I've distanced myself from my mother since that known relapse. And I've distanced myself from her because I'm an empath. So when people are going through things, especially somebody like my mom, I would feel it, and it would like have a direct effect on me. So I try not to be around people when they're going through stuff, and it might come off as like cold or whatever, but if I don't, like, I will go through the level of depression that I was in before. So to protect my own sanctity, that's how I've managed to you know, avoid mental breaks and things of that nature. So anyway, I'm saying all that to say this. My mother has never really, that I've known of, because like I said, I distanced myself. My mother never really had health issues to the point where it was like that was something I was worried about, even with the drug use. So there was a time, I think it was like 2-3 years ago or something, I don't know, all the days are starting to look the same, where, sorry y'all, where my mom was in the hospital, right? And when she was in the hospital, my brother called me. And it was a big deal because, like I said, my mother is not known to have health issues to the point where she has to go to the hospital and stuff. So, you know, I go see her in the hospital, and she's in there, and she's like, they got her on the IV or whatever, but she was like able to talk or whatever. But she has really, 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 really bad acid reflux, right? So to the point where she throws up like stomach acid. That's what I think it is. So, you know, she was kind of doing that when she was in the hospital. Oh God, here we go, man. Just, the person is a fucking citizen. That is it. Is Puerto Rico not a part of the fucking U.S.? They be treating people like they fucking immigrants. That's it. So, I'm sorry, y'all. I don't know if y'all know, but I'm a caseworker. Okay. So she was throwing up her stomach. You know, she had bad acid reflux, but that was the only thing that the doctor was really saying. But when the doctor was asking her to pee in a cup so she, they could do the test, she was refusing. So we're sitting there for like a couple of hours, and I was like, Ma, they're saying nothing's wrong with you. They're saying that you could go, but the only thing you got to do is pee in a cup. She didn't want to pee in a cup because she has never outright said, I have an issue, I'm on drugs or anything like that. She has admitted like, oh yeah, in the past I've used this or used that. That's how she'll talk. So when we was in a hospital and they was asking her to pee in a cup, she didn't want to pee in a cup, right? So then she finally pees in a cup, and I know that there's HIPAA and things like that. So I had asked the doctor when he was walking away, and I was like, oh, I just have a question. I was like, did you see drugs in her system or whatever? And he said yes without saying yes. Because they're not supposed to expose that information, no matter who you are. Like, if you don't have the legal authority over a person or something like that, you can't get that information. Well, they're not supposed to give it to you. So he said yes without saying yes. So, in my mind, it just was like, okay, maybe she had a bad hit or something like that, and whatever reaction she was having drove her to feel like she needed to go to the hospital, right? So then there was that. So I called my oldest sister calls, my oldest brother called. Like, we're not necessarily a tight-knit family. Like, we don't go visit each other. We're not the Hallmark family. We're one of those families like, oh, okay, last time I spoke to you was good, you good, and then when I speak to you again, when I speak to you, I speak to you, it's fine. You know what I'm saying? Like, we've all experienced like our traumas and stuff like that. And it's just, that is what it is, but if I was speaking in a general sense, all my brothers and sisters are good and decent places, generally speaking. Some people have their things with them, but generally speaking, from where we came from, we're all doing good. So when she was in a hospital, my older brother had called. He never calls. He's in the Army. I haven't spoken to him in forever, and I had a quick conversation, hi and bye type of thing. I don't even think I had that. But he called. My oldest sister called, and everybody was calling to make sure that she was, okay. Because we all know the deal. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, we've been dealing with an issue with her since we were children. So she gets out of the hospital, and being that I told my brothers and sisters what the doctor implied, it got her upset, and she didn't talk to me for like 3 months or so, right? So when she did talk to me, I tried to bring it up. I tried to say, Ma, you need to get help, or, the doctor told me this, and she started talking over me, and she's like, I don't know why you would tell your brothers and sisters that, like, in denial type of shit, right? So that was kind of the straw on the back for me. I have siblings that they already reached that point with my mom. You know what I'm saying? They already reached that point, but for a long time, it's not that I was forgiving, but I tried my best to be understanding in a manner like, okay, this is a woman that started having kids early. She had 10 children. Her childhood wasn't the best, and nobody's father was in there really in their life, or at least enough to make relieve stress that somebody would go through raising a whole bunch of children, at least. So I was trying like, as I got older and I started experiencing life, I had one child. I'm like, damn, this is stressful. So I could imagine what my mom went through with 10 children. And like, I was a rebellious teen. I done ran away, all types of stuff. So, you know, everybody got their thing. So, you know, when I got older, I was like, you know, I kind of gave her a pass. Like, you know, okay, she went through this, and, you know, look what, you know, whatever. So when she relapsed again, that was the tipping point. But then the hospital thing, when she was like in denial, that was kind of the straw in the back for me. So I don't see my mother, but, you know, when she calls me, I pick up or whatever, and I make sure I speak to her, whatever. And I know that's not necessarily right, because you only get one mom, but I just always told myself, like, this person has already had such a negative effect on me since a child. Like, why as an adult do I still have to allow this person, although they're my mother, have that effect on me? You know, at what point can I be free of that? So that's the mindset that I have. Like, I can't deal with it. I will no longer allow this person's situation to impact me the way it did when I was a child. You know what I'm saying? I'm still sensitive now, but I speak up for myself. I was very sensitive as a child. I was very quiet. It's not until I got into like middle school or, you know, high school, where I started making friends, and that's when I started acting out, where I was able to like kind of start sticking up for myself and shit like that. But, you know, I was always very sensitive. I was always very quiet, you know. So for me, a child like that, a very sensitive child or something like that, to go through that, it was really tough on me. So I'm saying all that to say that we believe that her habit has escalated. It's not that we believe, we know. Like I said, I haven't seen her. So my younger brother lives there with her, and one of my older brother lives with her, right? And that's a whole nother situation in itself, because when she calls me, she'll claim that they treating her this way, they're talking to her this way, blah blah blah, this is down the third. And of course, I'll let her vent, you know what I'm saying? I don't take that away from her, because at the end of the day, they need to move out and get their own shit. But she would claim that they doing A, B, and C, right? But when I would speak to my my younger brother, he would really put me on, like, oh, this is what mommy's doing. She'd be leaving the house this time of night, and she's coming in, and she's doing this, and she's hanging around this person, blah, blah, blah. So, hold on. What time is it, too? Because I got a meeting at 4:30. So she's hanging around this person, this is down the third. So the recent situation, my oldest sister had a bad feeling. So she calls my mom. My mom is supposedly in the hospital. When she called us, she was in the hospital. And my mother is telling her some story about the borderline diabetes. When I would speak to my mother, this was her story on borderline diabetes, or they saying it's this, that, and the third. So she'll have all these excuses for her health concerns, right? Like, she's setting it up, so that's what you think. When something is wrong, that's what you automatically go to. Like, oh, she said she's borderline diabetes, so it gotta be whatever the issue is associated with that or whatever. So she was, you know, trying to beat us in the head, but I'm like, okay, whatever. So it turns out she's not really borderline diabetes. That's what she says. She comes back and says, oh, she's not borderline diabetes, but she wasn't eating, and she thought she had COVID, but it wasn't that, or this is down the third. So, you know, when I talk to her, she's telling me this. So, I let people talk, and you got to figure out what's true or not. So that's usually what I do when I talk to my mom. So my older sister says she calls her, and she's in the hospital, and my mother's going on about the, you know, diabetes, or this is down the third. So my sister tried to, like, bring up, you know, the drug thing, like, you know, Maz, you're sure it's not, you know, whatever. And my mother, she's one of the people that she'll talk over you, she'll cut you off. She's real passive. She's not passive aggressive, she's just outright, like, cut you off or whatever. She'll it's like you're not even talking. Like, I'll be talking and she'll be talking over me type of shit. So, yeah. So she was doing that to my sister. So my sister couldn't really get no information. So she said she heard someone come in the room and say, oh, you taking the IV out or whatever. So, I'm sorry, y'all. Gotta do this person's case. So she heard that, and then my mom's hung up. So then she tried to call my mom's back so she could get more information. Like, yo, what are they saying is going on? What hospital you at? She didn't. My mother wasn't really trying to tell her none of that, right? So my younger brother calls me, because I was gonna call him, but my younger brother calls me, and I asked him. So he ends up telling me, like, that my mother is doing bad, like doing bad as in she's lost a tremendous amount of weight. Now, my mother used to be a very thick woman. Y'all see how I'm built. So my mother used to be very thick, clear skin, you know. I mean, I believe I look like my mother. But he's saying now that she looks bad. Her eyes are sunken in. She has locked jaw. She's like, her jaw's twisted. She like talks really weird. Like I said, she lost a lot of weight. And she's not eating. He said that her movements are weird. And he said that she brung some lady that was clearly a crackhead. Like, you could see the bones on her back, type of crackhead. Brung the lady upstairs and said, oh, this is your long lost cousin. So my brother, he starts questioning it, like, oh, how is this my cousin? So the lady goes, oh, I could tell by the forehead. I know some of y'all laughing like, the fuck? So the lady goes, oh, I could tell by the forehead, blah, blah, blah. So, what did she say her address was? I don't know. I'm just going to put a default address. So when the lady left, my brother confronted my mom's like, Mom, you know, that's not, why would you say that that's our cousin? Where did you find that lady? How do you know that lady? Blah, blah, blah. So they got into it. And once again, my mother is not the type of person that you can confront. She does not like to be confronted about anything. You cannot bring up, you used to do this to us when we were younger. You can't do it, right? So he did that or whatever, right? And then he's saying, so that was the other day. So he's saying that he had walked past her and she flinched. So when he was saying that, his voice started cracking because he was like, yo, I never, he said to her, this is what he said, like, he said to her, he said, I never put my hands on her. I never pushed her. He said, the most we've gotten into is arguments. And he was like, why was she feeling like his fit? Like he was hurt by that. Like, you know, what have I've never done nothing to you for you to behave like that. So, and I believe him because he knows that all of us would run down on him. So, and my mother would have told me, like, sure, that's one thing about her. They get out of line or one curse one too many fucking times. She will call and of course she'll tell her side of the story. She won't tell the full story, but so that's when I said, okay. So he was like, the way she be laying in the bed is weird. Like she just doing weird ass shit, like bugged out shit. Ugh. Oh God. So it's like I don't know what it is. I don't know if she's escalated to crack. I don't know if it's dope because he said that she's been leaning and like falling asleep, and so I don't know what it is. And you know, I was talking to my sister and she said years ago she tried to put life insurance on my mother because she wants to make sure that if something does happen, that we have the ability to, you know, bury her or whatever. But my mother had told me years ago she didn't want to be buried. She wanted to be cremated and her ashes brought home to Puerto Rico or whatever. So we was talking about that. But it's like, and I had called like substance abuse places, like drug counseling places, and I was calling these numbers, and I asked them, and I knew the answer to this because I'm not dumb. But you know how you just want to hear something, you want somebody to tell you what you want to hear. So I was calling these places, and I'm like, you know, can I force my mom to, like, can I force her to get help? And they're like, no, the person has to want to do it themselves. And I'm like, what if they don't want to? What if they don't want to? They're not in their right mind to make that decision. I don't think that's fair. I don't think it's fair. I think that people should be forced. That's what I think. I don't care what nobody says or who doesn't agree with that, because it's like, there's people out here that's neglecting their kids. They got families that care about them. And people really trying to help. And there's nothing that you can do. And that just upsets me so much, because out of all the things that they enforce, and they force on people, you can't force that. You can't see that this person is at risk to themselves. So I called these places, and then I called Adult Protective Services because my mother's older, and I'm like, at what point is she going to be considered a danger to herself? Like, it's like suicide or outright suicide attempts is not the only way to kill yourself. These people are killing themselves. How is that not considered suicide? I just don't understand. I don't understand. Like, so they said that I would have to call 911, and then 911 would have to do the assessment as to whether she is deemed a threat to herself, and they will bring her to the hospital if they believe so. And then when they bring her to the hospital, they got to do an intake service. And it's like, I used to work in a psych ward. These people could commit themselves, and if they feel at any point that they want to leave, as long as they're not, like, you know, dementia patient, they can petition for themselves to leave, and they can leave. And then they be back to doing what the fuck they doing. And I don't know. It's like, I'm over it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know that everything is not going to be squeaky clean and people go through things in their life, but I don't know what to say. Like, I don't know what you had 10 reasons. Like, one of my older brother passed away years ago, and that's what somebody is saying was the trigger for her, that her firstborn, one of her firstborns, like, I think my sister is older than him, but that when my brother passed, that was something that triggered her drug use. But you have so many other children after that, and it's not like we're replacements, but why is it that none of us are good enough for you to stop? You know what I'm saying? Like, you have mad grandchildren, you have mad children, and we've never been a reason to stop completely, permanently. So, and it's like, when I talk to people about drug addicts, I tell them all the time I have no compassion for it, because like I'm on the inside of that. I'm like I see it for myself. Like, they don't want they can have fucking dances with the devil, die damn near, go to the hospital, be revived, and then be right back out there doing drugs. And it's like, damn, that's it? That's it? Like, you don't care? You don't care. You don't care that anybody else cares. It's the most selfish thing. I don't care what nobody fucking says. Like, they want you to have compassion for these people. They want you to be like, oh, well, they went through this, they went through that. Okay, they went through it. So now what? Everybody else gotta go through it because you want to be on drugs? I don't know. I don't mean to sound cold, but I'm so fed up. And then I live in an area where it's like drug rehab centers and stuff like that. So I see these people every day. I see women turn from like very attractive woman, like beautiful woman, turn to they got sores, they look disgusting, they hunched over, they look, it's crazy. It's really fucking wild. So to bring it back, it's like to see my mother always be this beautiful woman, like, and finally when she's nearing her fucking 70s, that's now she's starting to look like a drug addict, like. And it just pisses me off because it's like, I've been telling my little brother, I said, you need to get up out of there. You need to get out of there because he's been around her for so long and living in that house with my other brother that's a fucking psychopath. That shit has had an effect on him too. And he's in his 20s. And I'm trying to tell him, like, get out of there while you can, because you're going to stay around that and it's going to have such an effect on you where there's going to be certain things in life that you want to do or see or be, and you won't be able to, because that will be the things that have a hold on you. Those experiences with mommy. And I'm like, get out of here. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what else. And he's trying, you know, he works and he'd be taking up shifts and he tries not to be in the house or whatever, but I don't know what else. Like, I can't deal with it. I can't. That whole drug addict personality is not it. They lie through their teeth. They manipulate. They use. They con. They scam. They. I don't know, though. I had so much good news to tell y'all about the way things going for me, with the exception of, you know, the health scares that I had with like COVID and, you know, my son being sick. But I had other good news to tell y'all, but then I just got this news, and it just I'm not gonna say it took the light out of me, but that's what I feel like right now, you know what I'm saying? And I'm just hoping that tomorrow when I get up, I don't have this weighing on my chest, because Saturday what I'm supposed to do is go over there and go actually see her. And if I see my mom's and she really looks like a fucking drug addict, because I don't want to say, I don't know if it's crack or not, but if she really look, I know, like, I'm trying to prepare my heart. I'm trying to prepare my heart, because I just can't, like, I can't. You know, I was talking to Alan, and he was just like, you know, that's something you're gonna have to let go. You're gonna have to let. He's known me for years, and he knows, like, he's always known the situation. But he's like, you're gonna have to let go. And it's like, how do you let go of your mom? People, like, I don't know. My mother was not a good mother, like, but she's still my mom. And there's no replacing that. Like, that's something that you can't replace. That's something that you can't get over. You can have a stepmom, you can have somebody else that raised you, but the person that birthed you, you can't. They could be the fucking most fucked up person. Like, They could be fucking terrible. And your fucking genetics, your genes, your DNA is still like holding on to them. Like, it's like, oh, you either don't give up on the person, you don't give up on it, then it fucking consumes your life. I have a child to raise. My brothers and sisters have children to raise, so it's like, what do you do? What do you do in that situation? But yeah, I'm dealing with a lot. You know what I'm saying? I didn't want this to... it's crazy because, you know, like I said, I was expecting to get on this video and spill my tea and, you know, talk my shit and all of that, but then this happened and it is what it is. Like, I don't know what to say. I know my cat. I haven't seen you in a minute. She came over here when I started crying. I'm gonna get off the computer. Yeah, so alright, sis, relax. So, yeah, I don't know, y'all. And he said it too, because he was like, he said it too, because he was like, cause, you know, like I said, I have a whole bunch of good news and stuff like that. But I guess I'll talk about it in another video. But I was just trying to tell him, like, he's like, yo, he was like, you know that once good stuff start happening for you, that, you know, there's a possibility that, you know, that's preparation for something else that's about to happen to you. Like, and I knew that and I felt that, you know what I'm saying? But I wasn't thinking it was nothing like this, you know what I'm saying? And I'm thinking ahead of time, like, oh, what if this happens? What if that happens? And I just don't want to, I can't. I don't even know what to say. I'm just like rambling right now. But anyways, guys, I'll be alright. I'll be alright. I know I don't upload like that, so I advise that you follow me on Instagram at Annie Boom Fanny. The same name as my YouTube channel. I believe that's my name on Instagram. So yeah, follow me. I'm not the annoying type that be uploading every single day and wilding like that. Like, I'll have a day where I upload 2-3 times in that day, and then I'll upload like the next week or whatever, because like I said, I'm busy. I'm working my 9 to 5. I have my 2 small businesses, my son, and then I'm just getting myself in order because I want to prepare to move or be able to move. So I'm just trying to have focus and take care of my responsibilities right now. But I'm gonna hang up because I'm gonna end the video now because I have a call coming in. Okay.